Coming up, legalizing gay marriage. The City Council is one step closer to approving same-sex marriage in the district. A full report straight ahead.
And American University students have a new way to access transportation now, after months of problems. District Wire News starts right now.
Good evening, I'm Charlie Arnold.
And I'm Brooks May.
Georgetown students are coming together tonight for a vigil to show support for recent hate crime victims. Twice in the past week, Georgetown students were physically targeted over their sexual identity. The latest incident occurred yesterday when a student was attacked because of his homosexuality. Within hours of the attack, about 70 students congregated for a flash protest against the anti-gay hate crimes.
The D.C. Council Committee on Public Safety and the Judiciary is scheduled to hold a hearing today to discuss the Religious Freedom and Civil Marriage Equality Amendment Act of 2009, a bill to permit same-sex marriage in the city of D.C. Tom Anderson has more.
After approving legislation to recognize same-sex marriages made outside the district earlier this year, the D.C. City Council is now tackling the issue of approving same-sex marriages made within the city.
Gay marriage should be allowed, well, preferably the term is same-sex marriage, and it should be allowed in the District of Columbia because it grants equal rights to all citizens.
That's Andrew Dean, who works at the American University Queers and Allies Resource Center.
It should be a national policy because currently there's a conflict between states and the federal government, which doesn't lead to anything beneficial for the nation.
Today, the Council's Committee on Public Safety and the Judiciary is holding a meeting to discuss the Religious Freedom and Civil Marriage Equality Amendment Act of 2009, a bill to permit same-sex marriage in the city of Washington, D.C.
I think gay people across the entire nation should be allowed to get married.
American University Anthropology Department Chair William Leap thinks more people will agree with that statement after a recent publicized attack on a gay man in Georgetown this weekend.
Gay life in Washington, D.C. isn't this beautiful bed of roses that people always talk about. We hear these conversations that it's easy being gay in Washington because we're everywhere. There's so many of us. There's so many institutions. Until those institutions break down and fail when people are attacked in these kinds of situations. So this may cause some people to rethink their lack of support for all forms of gay equality, the marriage bill included.
The same-sex bill has been long debated, and only time will tell if it will pass. From Washington, D.C., I'm Tom Anderson, District Wire News.
The Virginia governor's race is nearing the finish line, as constituents will cast their votes tomorrow to determine the winner. Public polls show Republican Bob McDonnell heading into Election Day with a lead over Democrat Creigh Deeds. The key factor in tomorrow's vote will be which shape the electorate takes. The showing of African American and young voter groups will be vital if Deeds hope to have a chance of securing the position. Otherwise, McDonnell could set to capitalize on the traditional older and more conservative electorate voter groups.
Student clubs on American University's campus are fed up with Auto, a program where students can rent vans. But now a new commissioner has taken over Auto, and student government says the program will get better. Here's Anna Tuman with more on the story.
Auto vans, used by students in clubs when the shuttle can't take you that far and cars just aren't an option. But clubs across AU are fed up with Auto.
It's been difficult, definitely difficult.
According to AU student government's Alex Prescott, students like Leah now have a new commissioner to file their complaints to.
Nicholas Orsetto, he's a sophomore. He interviewed for the position along with about 6 other applicants. He had a good business background. We thought he could manage the program very well, and he was very impressive in his interview.
Prescott says clubs can rest assured Auto wants to work with the clubs, not against them.
We're outreaching to the clubs, starting more certification sessions to make more people able to drive the vans themselves, along with an easier recertification process. We definitely see the importance of reaching out to clubs and organizations on campus.
For now, students like Leah will eagerly await any positive changes Risotto will make with Auto. For District Wire News, I'm Anna Tuman.
American University President Neil Kerwin is the 5th highest paid president of a private university in the country, according to an annual report by the Chronicle of Higher Education. The report looks at IRS tax reports from 2007 and 2008, which show Kerwin earned just over $1.4 million in total compensation. But the AU Board of Trustees says that figure is misleading. Nearly $800,000 of those dollars are compensation and investment returns from nearly a decade of work, not just for 1 year. Kerwin worked as a professor and as provost before he was appointed president. The board says his compensation is competitive, but not excessive.
And now for your weekly H1N1 update. As of last Friday, 14 students and 19 faculty members reported flu-like symptoms. This is out of a total of 15,000 students, faculty, and staff in the AU community. Updates on the number of current diagnosed cases of flu-like symptoms can be found at www.american.edu/H1N1.
Coming up after the break, Twitter is everywhere. Find out which university tweets the most in the U.S., almost 60 times a day per person on campus.
And Michael Jackson's new movie has been a smashing success since it hit movie theaters worldwide. It's only running for 2 weeks, but it has already profited more than $100 million. Stay tuned.